Greetings, fellow gorehounds, and welcome back to another Blood Splattered vlog. I'm the Horror Guru.
And I'm Count Jackula.
And we just watched Tremors 5 Bloodlines. Man, it's very rare that you run into like the fifth entry in a franchise that is actually one of the best entries.
Yeah. It's like Fast and Furious 5. Like, You're like, Tremors is pretty good. I like that movie. Second one, okay, that's a step down.
Yeah.
Third one, with the exception of the Ass Blasters, a step down. The one that was like back in the Wild West is complete bullshit.
I wanted to like that one because I like westerns, but it was just a rehash of the first movie. There was nothing added on.
Yeah, and then they do the television series, which is okay.
The television series is not bad. It is better than that fourth movie.
Yes.
It is better than that fourth movie. It's about on par with the third movie.
Yeah.
So where it's watchable, but not great.
Yeah. Tremors 5 Bloodlines, on the other hand, is awesome.
Yeah, this is fantastic. This is probably my second favorite Tremors movie, and I love the franchise overall.
Yeah.
It is a really fun franchise.
Yeah. The thing that's always been great about the Tremors movies is that they're not generally afraid to just be stupid monster movies.
Yeah. They're just pure dumb fun, pure horror comedies. They don't even try to be anything beyond that.
Yeah. No social commentary.
No. Just
characters, situation, and a monster.
Absolutely. It's one of the rare movies that makes you actually kind of love the what do you call it? The neurotic conspiracy theorist, gun-toting.
The survivalist gun nut guy.
Yeah.
Fucking Bert.
The guy who usually in real life, when you run into them, kind of drive you crazy. In this franchise, he is the most beloved character.
Yeah, well, yeah. He was the character. Like, I remember seeing this movie as a kid.
Yeah.
And Kevin Bacon was obviously the star, but we all latched onto Bert hardcore.
I know.
Loved Bert.
Bert is fantastic, and I'm so glad that he was the center of this movie.
Yes. Yeah, he's flat out the main character.
So right away, I was just like, I'm on board. Like, the moment he shows up and does his like survivalist intro to like recap to the rest of the audience what the previous movies were, like I was just like, I'm in. Like, because Bert is being Bert, and that is all I need.
Yeah.
But the movie does even more than that, and we could probably talk more about that when we get into spoilers. But before we get into spoilers, highly recommend this movie.
Oh yeah.
Highly recommend.
If you like Tremors, you need to watch this movie.
If you like stupid monster movies, if you like just the character of Bert, even if you could take or leave the Tremors movies, but you love that character, then this is the movie for you.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's got... One of the weird things is, like, it has Jamie Kennedy in it.
I feel like I probably read that in some sort of, like Bloody Disgusting article at some point.
Yeah. Like Bloody Disgusting or Rue Morgue or something. Yeah.
Completely forgot about it. Jamie Kennedy, he was actually pretty good in this movie.
He was.
You know, like, he's not like in some of his movies, or in some of his movies, he is just atrocious and obnoxious, and I can't stand him. But this is more like Scream, where I actually kind of liked him.
Yeah.
You know, like he was supposed to be kind of obnoxious, but he was actually kind of endearing.
Yeah. You totally recaptured that magic.
Exactly.
You know, He looks way different now, though.
Oh God, I mean, he's put on some pounds to the point where I'm looking at him and he kind of looks like Danni McBride now.
He does.
Like for a moment, I was when he first showed up, my thought was, "Is that Danni McBride?" And then my second thought was, holy shit, is that Jamie Kennedy? And then the thing Jamie Kennedy popped up in the credits.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it is Jamie Kennedy. Holy shit. Actually, Danni McBride would have been great for that character too.
Danni McBride would also work. Yeah,
he would have worked. But
he might be a little too old though.
Probably
or looks a little too old.
Well, yeah, because Jamie Kennedy I think is about as old as Danni McBride.
Yeah.
But he was actually pretty good in this movie. And okay, I think it's about time we give the spoiler warning.
Yeah, let's get into spoilers.
Spoilers.
All right, so for those of you following the Tremors series, you know that every time there's a new Tremors movie, with the exception of 4, they add a new mutation to the graboids.
It's got to happen.
Yeah.
With the second movie, they added the
Screechers. The Screechers,
yes.
Yeah. Or Shriekers,
Shriekers, yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, I believe it was the third one that had the Ass Blasters.
Yes, which is the one where it kind of felt like they were scraping the bottom of the barrel with ideas, but I was like, what the fuck ever. I love the Ass Blasters.
They fart fire, whatever.
I love the Ass Blasters.
Then they had the fourth one, which didn't have a new one. The series had the albino graboid.
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember that. Yeah,
they actually had a couple of mutations on the graboid in the television show. Mm-hmm. This one, whoa! All right. It does two things. They don't just give you one mutation.
They give you two.
They give you two. And they are mutations that you're like, that is so obvious. Why didn't we do that already? Mm-hmm. Number one, this graboid, the snake tongue things, detach.
Yeah, so they could move absent the actual main body. So the hiding on rocks thing no longer works.
Yeah. The other thing is that this one doesn't just claw its way through the dirt. It actually drills.
Yeah. It drills and it can launch itself into the air like a flyer fish.
Yeah. It just breaches and fucking goes into the air.
And they straight up do like shots like right out of Dune. Of the thing coming down. Which is one thing I was noticing with this movie was referencing of monsters in other movies visually.
Yeah.
Like there's a sequence that is just straight up Jurassic Park. It is them inside this kitchen with like one of the ass blasters, or was it one of the Shriekers?
Yeah, it's the ass blaster.
Oh yeah, the Shriekers don't really happen in this movie.
Yeah, they're not really necessary.
It was just the ass blaster walking through the thing, and it was straight up like the raptors in Jurassic Park. And there was another scene where they're by the jeeps, and you're like hearing like this rumbling in the ground. It was like when the T-Rex was going to show up.
Yeah, and the thing is you're sort of like, oh, they're ripping off Jurassic Park. Wait, they're also ripping off Dune. By the time they rip off Pitch Black, you realize it's on purpose.
Yes, because in this movie, they make a really big deal out of the fact that these ass blasters hunt at night because they use infrared vision, which I believe was part of the second movie, if I recall. But in this movie, they go straight up Pitch Black with it.
Yeah,
where like a guy's got like a flare and like the pitch black darkness in a cave, and you half expect Vin Diesel to show up.
Yeah, yes.
Speaking of Vin Diesel movies.
Yeah. Woo.
But the other thing they referenced aliens.
Yes.
By having a character who is like, oh, we must capture them for science. And turns out it's not for science.
Yeah, he's a poacher.
Yeah.
It's like, and it was one of those moments where it's like, all right, that's going to be Burke from fucking Aliens. And sure shit he was.
Absolutely. They even have a little girl.
Yeah. There's a little girl they got to rescue.
Yep.
Oh, man. Now, here's the big twist. This one's in Africa.
Yes. Very stereotypical, probably a bit racist Africa.
Yeah.
You know, like Ace Ventura when nature calls Africa.
Yes. But about the big thing that's different is that this African tribe already knows about the graboids.
Which kind of threw me off when it happened.
It did.
Because when they were sent to Africa, it seemed like no one knew that there were graboids in Africa. But when they get there, the people there are like, oh yeah, they used to hunt at night. We used to call them vampires or thunderbirds or stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I was just like, wait, you already knew about this? How did they not know about this if you did? You guys run the reserve. Like,
yeah, this is all happening in like a South African nature reserve.
I was able to let that slide. It's a minor complaint, but it was one of those moments where I was just like, wait, hold on.
Yeah, bit of a plot hole. But whatever.
So yeah, he goes to Africa. He meets up with some South Africans, and just some straight up Africans, and hunts some graboids.
Yeah. Like now, we're not talking like South Africa as in Neil Blomkamp movies. We're talking like Shaft in Africa, South Africa.
Yeah. Well, but
there are actually some references to Shaft in Africa.
I don't know where they actually shot this, but like when they actually start cutting the footage of Africa, it looked to me identical to footage in fucking Nevada, just with a couple extra trees that they clearly planted.
Oh yeah. like the couple that gets killed by the mother graboid first. Yeah, that's totally fucking not filmed in Africa.
Like I'm just sitting there going like, meanwhile, back in Nevada, which we apparently just took a plane from Nevada to Nevada.
Yeah, there's really obviously like some location shooting here, unless they just happen to fucking get 50 wildebeests to be in a scene somewhere else.
And also, even in Africa, apparently the black guy's got to die first.
Yes.
Now, he's not technically the first death, But he is the first of the main cast, the cast you actually care about, and not just a throwaway death.
Yeah. Like, there's the first death is a complete throwaway. And the second two are also complete throwaways.
Yeah, pretty much. They were just extras. They're characters that you introduce to as they are about to die.
Yeah.
As opposed to everyone else that we get to know and we get to either like or dislike, and then they die.
Yeah. About the only thing that was wrong with that movie, sorry, not with the movie, but with the scene of that young couple that gets killed, that I found myself going like, look, I know these movies have always been like PG-13, but I feel like this woman should be topless.
Yeah. One of the problems the movies I felt like always had is that like after the first movie, the rest were either direct to video with the intention of being played on the Sci-Fi Channel until like I think the fourth one was made for the Sci-Fi Channel.
Yeah, fourth one was I think straight up made for it.
And this one even still had that kind of like, oh, we got to cut away from some of the more gooey violence for the sake of like a television cut, except this one was not made for TV.
Yeah.
So you're kind of like, you could have done a little nudity, you could have done a little bit more of the actual graphicness of the deaths, but at least it was within line with the other Tremors movies, so it didn't feel like it was a departure.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like you're missing anything.
No.
This one went back. This is probably actually the most gory Tremors movie.
Like the fucking, like, there is, like, they don't really, like, have... They have a little bit of human gore, but they have a ton of Tremor gore. Of them just, like, blowing up Tremors and shooting them and just getting, like, doused in fucking guts.
Oh, God, yeah.
And
God,
shit.
yeah.
It is glorious. The Tremors in this one are... I forget if it was the... The Tremors in this one are a lot more CG than I remember the previous movies going.
Yeah, because the first one were like a lot more puppets and stop motion.
Yeah, and they would have like the occasional CG shot when they needed them to do something that like they couldn't physically do with the puppet.
Yeah, but the funny thing is the CG of the graboids in Tremors 5 is actually really good.
Yeah, it's really good. It reminded me of The Host.
Yes.
Like, I kept thinking, because there's scenes where the ass blasters were, like, stalking them at night that reminded me of the way The Host did in the Korean movie. Not the fucking Stephanie Meyer movie.
Oh, yeah, no. We're talking about the good one.
The Korean giant monster movie Host, which is really great. If you haven't seen that, I highly recommend it. Like, one of my favorite Asian monster movies. Obviously not better than Godzilla, but, you know.
Yeah. Hey, few things are.
Exactly.
You know, just to be fair.
Exactly. But yeah, the other thing was like, there was like scenes in the beginning when the graboid, when the ass blasters first showed up, where I'm like, are they referencing the Ghost in the Darkness? Like...
Yeah.
Holy shit! Like, they're referencing the Ghost in the Darkness. And then when the other references started happening, like Dune, like Pitch Black, like Aliens, like, I was just like, oh, Jurassic Park, like, oh, they are referencing these movies intentionally. Nice.
Yeah. Now Ghost in the Darkness, that was a lion, right?
Yes, Ghost in the Darkness was...
I am thinking of the right movie.
I think it was, if I recall, it was Val Kilmer and... God damn it, what's that other actor's name? And they're in the fucking African wild, and there's that one lion that they call the Ghost in the Darkness.
Yeah.
Because it like always stalks at night. It's treated like a monster, but it's a fucking lion.
Yeah. They did do that.
Yeah.
They did do that because I was like, they found really clever ways to hide what the monster was going to look like until the right moment.
Because these are some straight up redesigns.
Yeah.
Like the Ass Blaster in this looks like a combination of the Shrieker and the Ass Blaster, but like on steroids.
Yeah.
Whereas if I recall, the Ass Blasters in the third movie were actually really small.
Yeah, they're really small.
And in this movie, they're like fucking raptor size.
Yeah, because they're like, everything's bigger in Africa.
Yeah.
They even fucking have that line. Everything is bigger in Africa.
You know, so like the graboids are a little bigger, but they're a little slimmer because they maneuver faster. So it's not as drastic a change, an evolution as the previous movies, but it was nice that they at least did it.
Yeah, because the big change was the flying through the air.
God, that shot was glorious. That shot was... You knew something like that had to happen, but you weren't sure exactly what it was going to be.
Yeah. Oh, also, if you're a fan of the Tremors franchise, you're like, does Bert say the line?
He does.
He does.
It happens. Jack was waiting for it.
Yeah. It's like, I feel that I was not made privy to key important information.
Yes.
I was like, yes! He fucking said it! Like, no, this movie is a complete crowd pleaser.
Oh god, that scene when he is fucking... Okay, he gets betrayed by the guy who is basically like the Weasley dude from Aliens. Who betrays him. You know it's gonna happen. It is clear he's got it all over him. There's not a plot point in this movie that doesn't feel like you would probably know it was gonna happen as the movie started.
Yeah.
You know, like, just the fact the movie is Bloodlines gives a few things away. But, like, he gets betrayed, the guy locks him in a cage in the desert, and then we have this whole scene of him going crazy in the cage as he's, like, having to drink his own urine.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. And they reference his ex-wife from the first movie, who never came back, and probably my favorite. It was the moment where I was like, no, you guys still nailed this character, where he's looking into the camera and he's going, Heather, I just want you to know. Give the HK a good home. I love that. And by extension, I guess you too.
Yes! It was a great scene. It was fantastic. It was perfect and it was pure Bert.
Yeah. Pure Bert. Oh, man.
You know, and some of the secondary characters you really grow to like. Like, I really grow to like the chick who owns the reserve. Who,
the veterinarian.
Yeah, the veterinarian who owns the actual animal preserve in which the graboids have been discovered on. Which apparently they weren't discovered on because apparently the fucking locals know about it, so whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever, plot hole. But, like, she starts fighting the graboids with bow and arrows. And I was just, at first I was like, come on. But then it was just so badass.
Yeah. They made it work. The funny thing is like, you might have that question of, like, well, why doesn't she use a real gun? And the answer is because she gave it to Bert.
Yeah. She gives Bert her gun.
Yeah, she straight up had, like, a fucking AR that she gives to Bert. And he's like, well, I'm fucking shooting with this.
It's like, where did you get it from?
Yeah, where'd you get this from? She's like, you don't want to know.
I like your style.
Yeah.
Perfect. Fantastic.
This is the most Bert Gummer.
Okay. Another thing I want to mention, there is a sequence where they are tracking down one of the ass blasters that has taken one of their friends, and I swear to God, the location he takes the guy is the same location of the same bridge used in episode 1 of Supernatural.
Yeah.
I swear it's the same bridge. If not, then I'm wrong. But I swear to fuck, it's the same bridge.
It does. It's even lit the same way.
Exactly.
You know, like, if it's not that bridge, I'd be shocked.
I swear to God, like, I would be really surprised if it wasn't. Because I was, the way he's walking down it and the way they're filming, I'm like, it even feels like it's filmed the same way.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like,
man.
Africa my ass. Like,
Africa my ass, we were back in Toronto!
This movie reminded me of Adam Green's Hatchet in that they obviously had a very limited amount of locations, but they utilized them very well.
Yeah, oh man, there's so much fucking efficiency in this movie.
Yes.
And the thing is that you go through the whole movie and you get to the end and you're like, whoo, that was cool. That was a lean 93-minute movie.
Yeah. It goes by real fast, and there's a couple.
But it doesn't feel rushed.
No, it doesn't feel rushed at all. It feels just right. You know, like that was. We live in an era now where movies get like over bloated.
Yeah.
So it's kind of nice to just feel a lean movie that doesn't overstay its welcome and just like gets in, gets out, and does everything it needs to in that time.
Yeah.
And this movie does. Pure economy of storytelling.
Oh, yeah.
Now, granted, part of that economy comes from the fact that there's a lot of stuff that the previous movies let us know so that we don't need to be completely, like, relearning it in this movie.
Yeah. If you haven't seen any of the other Tremors movies, this is still a good jumping on point. Because the beginning of this movie tells you everything you need.
Yeah, it tells you everything you need to know about the graboids. The only thing I would recommend is at least watching the first one.
Yeah.
Because you could probably get away with not watching 2, 3, or 4. But the first one, I feel like, is almost a necessity.
Yeah, you should probably see the original Tremors. if you haven't seen it at all. But if you've only seen the original Tremors and you're like, I don't know if I want to see 5. No, just jump in. Just jump into 5. And if you're like, whoa, they covered all that in like the previous movies, then go watch them.
Yeah.
Skip the Wild West one because it's bullshit.
It's kind of boring.
Yeah, it's really boring.
Yeah.
But like all the other ones are like, they're at least good. They're at least okay.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, the Ass Blaster one. Holy shit. Holy fucking shit.
Oh,
damn.
Man. Like, God.
Tremors.
Is there anything we haven't addressed in this movie? Like,
I don't know, because there's so much that happens.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot. Like, there's this one character who is like this South African, feels like he's straight out of Mad Max, like,
yeah.
Not poacher, but like
the toe cutter?
Toe cutter guy, yeah. He seems like that, and I like that character. I kind of wish we had more of that character, to be honest. Like, I feel like he got taken out a little too early in the movie.
He gets killed, but his death is hilarious.
It is fantastic. It's one of the best deaths in the movie.
Oh, yeah. No, this movie is just pure dumb fun.
It is great.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even want to spoil too much of it, even though we already have, because...
Yeah. You just... Oh, man, no, you just gotta see this one.
Yeah.
You just gotta see it.
Absolutely. Tremors 5. I know we're a little late on this bandwagon, but for those of you who are also late on the bandwagon, fucking check it out. It is fantastic.